Welcome, Flip Clock fans. We have another RadioShack Flip Clock radio in the studio. It's a Realistic Chronomatic-104 by request. It was asked that we take a look at this clock. The actual model number is model 12-1494. The RadioShack Realistic Chronomatic-104 was featured in U.S. newspaper advertisements from 1973 to 1978 and was considered one of their most popular flip clock radios. In 1974, it was put out there as a good gift for Dad for Father's Day. Curiously, Father's Day in 1974 fell on June 16th, the same day as it does this year, 2024. Since we love animals here at Flip Clock fans, we must mention that June 16th, 2024 is also World Sea Turtle Day. So make sure you show your love to your father and your sea turtle that day, and every day. So what was going on in 1974? The Organization of Arab Petroleum Exporting Countries, OPEC, instituted an oil embargo on the United States for supporting Israel, resulting in the gas shortages of the 1970s. Economy cars became the rage due to the gas shortages and high fuel costs, with the Ford Pinto realizing its most successful year. In fact, the 74 Pinto went on to become the best-selling American model in 1974. The Rumble in the Jungle took place in Zaire, Africa in 1974, where Muhammad Ali regained his heavyweight championship from undefeated George Foreman by knockout in the 8th round. President Richard Nixon resigned as President of the United States in 1974 due to an impending impeachment trial related to the cover-up of the Watergate scandal. Ronald Joseph DeFeo Jr. was tried and convicted for the 1974 killings of his father, mother, 2 brothers, and 2 sisters in Amityville, New York. Sentenced to 25 years to life, DeFeo died in prison on March 12, 2021. The case and subsequent supposed haunting of the home inspired the book and film versions of the Amityville Horror. Now this thing's got something flipping around in there or rolling around in there. And when I got this, the seller said that the radio did work, but that this bar did not move. So somehow in transit it started working. Now the neon glow bulb is on. I'll check the radio. So it's working.
Steve Rosenberg. It is the world's most sanctioned country.
And the nice thing about this is the styling. It's got the look of the Panasonic, I think it's RC7469, the Cameron. It's got the look of a wood look here, although this plastic, chrome look, the black top. It's got sort of a satin finish here with a chrome paint. It's jacked up, you can see in the front, and that's cool because the speaker here is on the bottom, and it really gives you a really good sound. This here you would turn if you wanted to sleep to the music for say 30 minutes or so. You would turn this and it would turn the radio on.
And China plus India are now big.
And then it would eventually go off as the time advanced. This is your snooze button. You'd push that down, and after say 10 minutes or whatever, it'd go off. And this gets real wonky. You're like, okay, wait a minute, that's auto, this is manual, this is on, this is off. So this is on, radio on, radio off. Manual, you leave it up. That just means I can turn the radio on and off. Auto means alarm, which is kind of strange. So now it's going to go off to the alarm.
Oh, hi. Steve Rosenberg.
So it is still a point of confusion. Sometimes people will say, what's all this about? Because Sony's did something like that too. Sony's flip clock radios did something like that. So we're gonna take this apart, take a look at it. What's going on with the tuner here? I'll turn the radio on so you can see a little bit better. Volume's a little staticky, we can fix that. But you see here, it kind of stops here, and then it goes a little bit too far over here. This is going to be a string tuner, just like its cousin, the Chronomatic-106 that we did a review of recently. So we're going to see if we can't fix that, find out what's jangling around in here, and go from there. So looks like we'll need to take this off. And it comes right off. It's got that metal on there that's holding that in. These will need to come off. I haven't had this apart. Yeah, this is. There we go. Again, the metal, it's got a little bit of rust to it, which is really grabbing on there. This is just plastic onto plastic. Those won't need to come off. Hopefully this will come right off. It's probably plastic to plastic. Plastic to plastic. Alright, it looks like to me, and we've got a lot of screws going on here. A lot of, that's probably mechanism screws. Not sure. So I'm going to guess that maybe we need to take these black screws off to open that up. So we're going to try that first. And see where we get. Hopefully that's it. It's going to be that. So that's all it was. It was just those screws plus the middle screw, and you just got to work it to get it apart. Now, there's something moving around in here. Oh, here it is. So what that is somebody had tried to get it apart. And like, for example, this screw here is the one they unscrewed. Okay, so I hope that's what was jangling around. So you don't need to take off any of those. Those are your speaker screws. All right, what do we got? It's dirty. So what was going on with that? I'm not sure why it was stuck. And that's the end. So this should be here. There. So that was it. I just moved this. Looks like you can loosen it on the string. Let's see. Yeah. You can loosen that little nut to move it on the string, which I didn't do. I just moved it. But it's got some give. What was causing it to stick, I don't know. Now, to get this where you want it, you should probably unloosen that so we're not tearing the string up. But to get this where you want it, you'd find a radio station that you're familiar with, tune it in, and then move this until it was where you wanted it to be. So that's all good. So these are clips. I was trying to undo these. These are clips that are holding this in place right here. So I will probably go ahead, and I've just lost one of those clips. I'll probably go ahead and take this off so I can get this a little cleaner. Okay, so I'm going to get this off, clean it up. There's really not a lot else I'm going to do here. It's a little dirty in here. Double check the radio, make sure I didn't screw anything up. Get this cleaned up. Get this cleaned up as good as we can here. See about making that look a little better. So that's what I'm going to do. All right, so what we're looking at is this is the faceplate. I believe I could pop off this and get this out, but if I don't have to do that, I'm going to avoid that. It looks like it's in really good shape. We're going to wash it with soap and water. I like to use Windex back in here. It's going to really clear out some of this electronic smoky stuff, and then I follow it with distilled water and then get it dried out. So this is your potentiometer. And that's where the volume gets a little bit scratchy. Now you see this, like an enamel. It's like a fingernail polish or something. They put that on almost a lot of screws, and they do that so that it doesn't come loose. It breaks loose really easy, just like that. So you're going to look at this here. You want to get some electrical contact cleaner to squirt in there. So you just squirt it in there, and then you work it back and forth, and that's going to clean that out. There's a big controversy. Every time I show this stuff, people say, oh, it's going to mess up your potentiometer. That's a myth. It has no basis in fact. So this is the best stuff. So I really don't want to argue about that. There are other contact cleaners. If you want to use those, that's fine. We've never had a problem with that. So that's going to clean your volume and make it not staticky. Now, as far as this, there's a little bit of spotting here, and we're going to polish this up with Simichrome polish to get this plastic looking good. I would not try to polish this quote chrome here so much, because that's chrome paint, and you'll wear that paint off. Good thing is the Realistic and the Chronomatic logo there are on the back side, so this isn't going to mess that up. Now, as far as the top, you don't want to use alcohol or anything like that, and to get this shined back up. You could use something like Armor All, but the best thing that I think for that is this stuff. It's a wax polish. It's got a smell to it. It's got naphtha, which is completely safe on ABS plastic. So this is going to give it a nice little sheen and get it looking pretty good. So that's it. We're going to polish this up, get everything back together. Just for the record, you're looking at, if you don't know, a lot of people who watch these already know, this is a neon glow bulb. You can get those online. It runs off 120 volts, or your household current. And this bulb here, as we saw on the Chronomatic-106, I did test it. It's a 4 volt, and the current coming through there is about 2 milliamps. On the other one, I'm sure it's about the same. So we're going to polish this up, and it's not that bad. It's just got a few scratches, and I'm not going for perfection. I just want to look as good as it can. So we'll polish that up and get it back together. And there it is, the Realistic Chronomatic-104, a very popular flip clock radio in the day. It's looking a lot better than it was. We've got it cleaned up. We've got it polished up pretty fairly. The radio works.
After accidentally stepping on their tail, you say, "I'm so sorry, Mr. Pickles." But as you kiss his nose and rub his little belly welly, you know Mr. Pickles is thinking, "You betrayed me."
Anyway, so the volume works great. The dial is working fine, and it's set properly. Goes to either side just fine. And it tunes in really good all throughout. So this is a really good solid flip clock. It's got a lot of history. And that was just a quick little look at it. Well, thanks for taking the time.